and welcome to the first episode of the Open Roads and Open Hearts podcast, or show, or whatever the heck we're going to call it. I'm Craig, and I have Rachel here with me.
Hi.
Hi, Rachel.
Hi, Craig.
So if you don't know, we are partners in an open relationship, and we also travel a lot, and our goal is to travel full time. What's the thing, Rachel, that made you decide that that was something you wanted to do? When were you like, I have a very specific memory of when I thought, I can travel full time and live like that. What about you?
I mean, I guess it's been growing since I was like a little kid. I've always dreamed about traveling and adventuring, and it's just grown and grown into different things as I've gotten older.
Did you dream about running away from home?
No, I never
used to think about
dreamt
that all the
about
time.
running away from home.
Huh.
I mean, I guess like running away to go on an adventure, but coming back.
Yeah,
I was never,
I was never like, I want to run away because I hate it so much,
Yeah.
or I hate my family or whatever. I
Yeah.
did hate school, but
I did want to run away in the sense of like, I didn't want to end up living there
right.
forever, not in that town. I've just moved to another small town. Problem solved.
Yeah, well, I mean,
But I want to move from here too.
yeah, and we've lived in together in Pittsburgh and in Austin, Texas, and so definitely we've been more places than just the people that have been around here, which is fine if that's like what you're into. If you just want to grow up and live in a small town, and then
Yeah, good for you.
like I actually get kind of pulled into that sometimes, where I'm like, I could just like settle down and really make a difference here, but that's just not.
Yeah, I see the glimmer of it.
Yeah,
I see the
It's-
draw.
it's nice.
It's quaint.
Yeah, there's definitely something to
Quiet,
it. It's quiet, and
peaceful.
it's comforting, and it's
comforting.
yeah, and that's it. Like I'm not the type of person that likes comfort. Like
Yeah, me neither.
yeah, we're both very
Not for too
similar.
long. I like comfort, but not for too long.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean everyone, I think anyone that's like I hate comfort at all is lying.
Yeah.
Like the house we're living in right now is really nice, and it's nice sometimes to have this to come to.
It's more than just really nice.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But even just having the home that my grandma, it's like her house, and I can just go there whenever. So I definitely do not take that for granted that I'm growing up in a situation where I have that ability. I mean, my family's a pretty, not a very well-off family, poor, I guess people would say. But like, we have a home. That's something that like,
Right.
I was going to say you can't take that away from us, but you literally could if we didn't pay the taxes or something like that.
But that's why I want to live in like an RV or something. Like you buy in cash.
Yeah. And
you fix up in cash, like it's yours. Like it's legal, but it's yours. And you go where you want in it.
Well, so how long ago was that? A year and a half ago, we're living in Austin, Texas. 2 years we were living in Austin, Texas.
No, it was longer.
2.5 years.
2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be right.
Yeah. So 2.5 years ago.
It feels like it was just yesterday, but when you actually think about it,
we've been here for a while.
Yeah,
we were living in Austin, Texas, and we had this we thought we were living in Pittsburgh. We graduated college together, and then we moved to Pittsburgh because we knew our value systems just align much better with the people that live in the city, and that's again, it's fine. I'm not judging people that have different value systems at all.
I also like the country, so.
I know it. I like nature, but I also like being around a lot of people.
Yeah.
I like being around a lot of culture, and there is a decent amount of culture in these small towns that people aren't aware of, but it's still not the level that there is in the city. You're never going to do that. But
you don't have as many options for
and
different
there's just
kinds of culture,
different people, and like you're really forced to face that head on when you're living in a new city.
Yeah.
Like Pittsburgh, there's certain demographics that you would never come in contact with here. And then in Austin, like the Hispanic population, like that's something we just don't ever really come in contact with in Pennsylvania.
That's not culture, but just like the people carry guns like crazy in Texas. That was really weird, right?
I didn't think that was weird at all because people carry guns here too.
Yeah, but they don't carry them like around. Like they carry them in their trucks or their cars or whatever. But like in Austin, Texas, people walk around with like holsters.
Yeah, I think it's just because of the people I know around here.
You're in a restaurant, boom, there's somebody with a holster.
Some of my more like country friends like totally carry holsters around in Pennsylvania. But it's really in your face in Texas,
I'm
for sure.
From like a pretty redneck town, and people don't just carry them around in a holster.
Our friend Luke does that all the time.
Okay, I don't know that person.
You're right. I know people that do, but it's fine. So anyway, so yeah, there's guns and stuff in Texas. Who knew?
Yeah.
But we were living in Austin. Yeah, there were a lot of freaking cockroaches. We were living in Austin, and both of us kind of thought, we realized pretty quickly that we were not going to get ahead and live a lifestyle that we wanted to live by paying a ridiculous amount of money in rent.
Yeah.
Like, we just couldn't.
Never have I ever literally lived paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I've definitely experienced that pressure. I thought I had experienced that pressure before.
I thought I had too.
But never as bad as it was in Austin. It was so stressful. It was not a good time at all. Like, the moments that we had that we were like completely away from work and not thinking about any of that was wonderful. I loved Austin in those circumstances.
The nature in Austin.
Yeah, like Barton Creek's amazing. Like some of the like Mount Bunnell and some of the hiking and even just the trail along the river, like using that, going to work every day like that, I'd be able to shut off a little bit and just ride my bike and have fun. But eventually we were like, okay, this is about the same time we came up with the idea that we wanted to live in a van. We said, let's move back to Pennsylvania where we can live for free or cheap. We can get jobs that probably will pay okay because both of us have skill sets now that are not very common in small town areas, and we're going to save up and we're going to buy an RV. And we did that.
Who'd have thought? It's crazy when you set a goal like that, and then it was
a super rewarding experience. We both kind of looked at each other when we bought the RV, which if you haven't seen it, you can go on our Instagram, which is Open Roads, Open Hearts.
Instagram, check it out.
Check it out on Instagram. There's pictures of both Cutie is what we call her, the RV, and there's Ariel, our little Honda Fit that I figured out.
Which was also at one point a goal that we were like,
yeah, we want a car.
We were driving around in Pittsburgh being like, when we can afford a car, we want a Honda Fit.
Yep.
And then one day we got it.
We wanted a car that wasn't going to break down like every month.
Ariel does the job.
Ariel does do that job. Yeah, no. So it was pretty cool to get to that place. And it's so rewarding when you get there and you're like, okay, we set a goal and we did it. And now we're in a transition period, both of us in our lives, trying to figure out what it looks like for us to live in the van,
full time.
Full time. We did actually live in it for, how many weeks was that? 2 weeks?
Yeah.
At one point during the summer, we just went and stayed in my sister's front lawn, her boyfriend's front lawn, basically. Slept on the street, not on the street, parked in a parking lot.
In a parking lot.
I think 2 times, yeah. And I've slept in the car in like Walmart parking lot and stuff. And
I've slept in the RV in parking lots. Parking lots.
Yeah. So it's like we're kind of dipping our toes into it rather than being like, all right, tomorrow we're going to live full time forever out of it.
Right.
It's a pretty exciting thing though. Like,
we've taken small steps, which I feel like is a really good way because then we get to be like, oh, I really wish I would have had this thing.
Oh, that is so
But we weren't
huge.
like jumping right in and living in it, and it's like, oh shit, we don't have this thing. Like,
remember the first time that we tried to camp in the RV in winter?
Exactly. What a great learning experience.
Yeah, we thought, we bought this little like propane Mr. Buddy heater and thought like, we'll be fine.
It's only gonna get to like.
It's only gonna get to 20 degrees.
Yeah, it's only gonna be like 20 degrees tonight.
Yeah, which from Pennsylvania, you're like, I can handle that, you know.
Try sleeping in it.
True. The thing is, we had the cats. I think we could have done it otherwise, but it's still. Either way,
I kept waking up every like half hour because I was just nervous that the cats were going to be too cold, which like they have fur, but still.
At a certain point, yeah, that's.
Yeah. Cheshire climbed under the blankets with us and he was good, but Alice wouldn't come under the blankets.
Yeah.
And so I was worried about her.
You might be able to hear them in the background meowing.
I doubt it. They're pretty far away.
Oh, well, I'll just superimpose them in here.
Okay.
Meow. Meow.
That is not what they sound like.
That's totally what they sound like. That's Alice. So. That's one part of the podcast, right? That's going to be one part of the show, which the format's going to be sometimes us talking, sometimes Rachel might do something when she gets a little more comfortable, sometimes, sometimes I'll do something by myself. But the main thing is, and I do vlog, and that's part of this December. So in a week or so, who knows when this is going up online.
It's less than a week.
Yeah, I mean, basically by the time this is online, I'm probably already on the road. Unless you're listening to it later, and then in that case,
maybe he's back.
I already came back. I'm going to Los Angeles from Pennsylvania. I'm driving in Ariel, the Honda Fit, and I'm living in it, except for maybe a couple campsites that I have rented. And the first night in LA, I rented a hostel because I want to experience that. I've never done that before.
Hostel.
Yeah. Well, I'm just kind of, it's cool to be around other people and stuff, but usually it's international tourists. I don't know. That just sounds so cool to me. But anyway, that's going to be another really great, more extended long term experiment of seeing how this works. But I'm going to vlog the entire time. I'm going to make different videos and I'll find what format works for me on the YouTube channel. So all of this kind of connects together. The dots all connect. It's like just a matter of making some stuff about the values that we care about. And for us, that's openness and freedom. Everything boils down to freedom. So everything in this brand,
Love
everything in, yeah,
and love.
freedom and love.
Do everything with love.
I think, well, no, that's important because freedom by itself is not necessarily a good thing because some people can,
But doing it in the name of love.
yeah.
Like with,
Well, to me, freedom, it's all about freedom for me and for other people.
right.
I never
exactly.
want my freedom to impose on other people's freedom.
Right.
That's where a lot of, I think,
Because you care.
issues come up, you know? And that's, I mean, that's the core basis of our relationship too, is
Mhm.
you have the freedom. I mean, really, you have the freedom to do whatever you want because you're your own human being. We
Yeah.
obviously have guidelines of respect for each other that we say, like, it would be more comfortable for me if, like, this happened.
Yeah. Hey, this makes me uncomfortable. Can you do it this
Yeah.
way?
It's interesting because we established pretty strict ground rules whenever we first started, which
And then
are,
we broke them all.
and we broke them all. Yeah. And, but I think it was good to
Not
start
all
out.
of them,
I think it
but-
was good to start out that way because it like, again, it let us kind of tiptoe in and say, oh, well,
This is what I think I'm not going to be comfortable with.
yeah. And
Turns out this is what I'm comfortable with.
and actually, I don't know if there's anything that's come up that's been like, I'm not comfortable with that
Right.
that
No,
we
not
didn't
really.
initially anticipate. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe there will be. I don't know. But we've honestly been more comfortable with more things than I think we thought we were going to be.
Yeah.
Um,
It's been easier than I thought that it would be. Not to say that it hasn't been difficult at times.
Yeah. Yeah. I think people think like, oh, open relationships or polyamory, like that's just like so self-indulgent. You're just having all this fun, like just having sex with whoever you want. Yeah. And it's like, that's not what it's like at all. I mean, I'm sure there are people that's what it's like. And
Right. I think it's different for every single person.
Yeah.
Or every.
But almost
whatever.
everybody that I know that's poly is like,
That's not what they're doing it for.
yeah, it's
That's
more,
just hooking up.
yeah.
It's not like.
And sure, there's people that do that, and that's fine. But it's like most people that are poly, or at least most people that I know that are poly, are in it for the fact that it's not controlling other people. Because there's just some really dangerous, weird things about the way that monogamous relationships work. And I like hesitate saying that because I think there's plenty of loving, caring, committed ways that it can work.
Oh, yeah. Of
But
course.
it's so common for it to fall into, even if it's out of a place of love, to fall into a place of control.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting for us just because of the way that we like the style of living we already have to just push that boundary.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've both found really interesting relationships with other people, whether it's relationships physically in real like relationships or just like building friendships that are unhindered by, oh, is this crossing a line or is
Right.
that,
Yeah. You really
like
don't
my-
ever have to think of that.
yeah, that for me, that's what,
Which is like.
that's the big thing is like
Yeah.
being able to completely genuinely have real vulnerable conversations with people
Yeah.
without worrying about what
real
the,
reactions, real experiences.
being real. It's not
Whoa.
having to be fake, you know,
Whoa.
have the freedom to be yourself and experience the emotions you're experiencing and be open about that.
Yeah.
And people respond really well to that. Other people.
Right.
I mean, definitely the whole open, we're in a small town. I mean, our county is 60,000 people, which that's like a neighborhood in a city. And we're a bigger county compared to the counties around us. So like, there's not a lot of people around here that get or really understand the open relationship thing. And that's the reason I say open relationship more often than polyamorous, because
Right. And I say polyamorous because.
that's really like more of a technical, yeah, she's flipping the camera off or the microphone off. They can't see that. But for me, it's like, I don't feel like having to explain that whole thing all the time. So I say open relationship. And it's funny because
And I like to explain it because I like to challenge other people's
yeah,
thought processes.
sometimes I'm just picking my battles, really.
Me too.
I know. Yeah, you just choose to pick that battle more often than I do. And I
Mhm.
will sometimes. But even saying open relationships sometimes opens that can of worms. It's funny because we just stopped the podcast to check and see if it was still rolling. We're such amateurs.
You don't have to tell them that.
I'm going
just
to
cut that out,
Nope.
and it'll just be us hilariously laughing.
I'm telling them that. It's like there's a really funny scene in Anchorman 2 where they're like all cracking up laughing, and then it doesn't change to a new place or anything. It's the same location, same scene, but just all of a sudden they're just not laughing, and they're like, "Yeah, so when do we leave?"
Cool story.
Yeah, cool story, Craig. Tell people about a movie that they probably already watched themselves. What were we talking about? Oh, the open relationships. Just in general, it's tough because in a small town area, you're not going to find a lot of people that potentially you can have those kind of relationships with, even as a friend. Like even people that are just weirded out, because I've met girls that I would really love to be friends with that won't really engage with me in a more than like in passing way because I have a girlfriend.
Right. Because a lot of people are like way too afraid to cross any line or anything. So they're just like,
yeah,
oh, I'm with this person, so I can't have any male friends.
Oh,
or like,
man,
I can't have any female friends.
I mean, that was the thing whenever we first started dating. It was like you'd been in relationships.
I wasn't allowed to
where
have like guy friends.
Yeah. Luckily, I don't think I ever had a girlfriend that was that controlling, but I definitely, that just blows my mind. Like, how that doesn't make any sense at all. But I mean, it's what people do. I think it's also like built into our culture.
Yeah.
Especially around here. We're still very men control the women culture in a lot of ways, or at least there's lingering parts of that.
Yeah,
and
certainly.
It's that I hate that. I don't think that's one of the few things where I'm like, I can't be like, well, yeah, if it works for you, like, no, that's not okay. That not to say like a stay-at-home mom is not like that's fine, like, but it has to be a loving relationship. I just can't stand like the controlling part of it. But I'm interested to see as we travel more.
Why are you saying a stay-at-home mom? Are you saying that like all moms that stay home are controlled?
No,
that's definitely not true.
No, that's what I'm saying though, is that I'm not saying that.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense? Like
it does.
I'm saying like in a circumstance like that where they're both choosing to play traditional gender roles, that's fine. But if it's kind of forced upon somebody, which happens a lot,
right,
then that's not okay.
Right. Okay. Yes.
But I'm interested to see as we go travel more and get more into cities, how that plays out naturally with the people we run into that are more open to open relationships and like being friends with people of the opposite gender. That sounds like such a stupid thing to like.
Oh yeah, no, but that's definitely like something I think about too when I meet people and I tell them that, because it's either like one, they're going to be super weirded out and now they're not going to want to be my friend, or two, they're like, oh, this person definitely wants to like screw, and no, probably not. Or it's like three, they could be okay with it.
I love the fact
but
that you
there's
just
three
said,
options, and two of them are like not great.
I love the fact that you just said screw.
I didn't know what word to use there.
I think we are touching on enough things in this podcast in general, in this whole like thing, that we don't have to worry about being like, I don't want to be like vulgar.
Well, maybe I just really use the word screw.
I'm sorry for shaming you. Are you making
fun of me?
I'm sorry for shaming your choice of words. No, you're right. I feel like it's a little like you say there's people that like they want to like go straight to having sex or hooking up, right?
Right.
Like they think that. I think as a man, women assume that that's my intention.
Yeah. It's weird how that plays differently for you and me.
Yeah.
Like, because most guys just assume like, oh, I just want to have sex then. And for you, the women are assuming, oh, he just wants to have a bunch of sex with a bunch of girls.
Yeah, exactly. Which like
not
is
true
not the
in
case.
Either scenario. For
yeah.
us.
Right. So that's an interesting
go us.
thing. And like, that's not to say I meet someone and I really like them and we hang out and like that I'm not going to eventually want to have sex with them. And if I'm attracted to them, that I'm not going to want, like, but that's not the main thing there that's happening.
Yeah. You want more than that.
Yeah. And I'm hyper aware of that. And I almost get too cautious around women because of that. But I'd rather be too cautious than be like, honestly, that's just not my nature to like be too forward.
Yeah.
I'm much more like, wait till they hint at a move or make something.
And I am way too forward.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, there's a balance.
Slow mo roll.
Everything's a balance.
Pump the brakes.
Pump the brakes, bro. What was the third one that you said? I missed it. I'm sorry.
The third one was that they're okay with it. and they like want to be your friend, or they're like they don't care. Like that doesn't change
right
the way they felt about you in the first place.
What percentage of people living in a rural area like ours do you think fell into that category where they were like, yeah, no, that's cool?
Honestly, a lot more than I thought were going to. But that might just be because those are the kind of people that I naturally surround myself with anyways.
Yeah.
Okay, but if I were to guess percentage-wise, I would say 65 to 75% were like pretty okay with it.
Yeah, I would say I'd in the same realm.
Yeah.
And I interact with a lot of like professional business people and stuff too, and even those people have been like not like, oh yeah, that's for me. But
no, usually they're like, oh, that makes sense for you. Or they're like, oh, you've touched on some good points there.
Right.
Well, because I like blog about it a lot. So
that's true.
People would talk to me more about it, I guess. And so a lot of people comment on like the point of views that I've brought up about it or something. So they might not necessarily be like, oh, I understand it or anything, but they're a lot more
like, fair
respectful.
All right. Yeah.
I guess.
I think in general, people have been, I have not had anyone be like rude to me.
I've had a few.
I haven't, but that's
and also again, I talk about it lot more.
Yeah, you really put yourself out there with it.
Yeah, like I bring it up.
There's definitely certain people that I work with, whether they're clients or they're just people in the community that I work with, that I just don't bring it up. Like,
yeah,
but I would never shy away from it. I have actually a specific person in mind that she's very, very conservative and a wonderful person, but like, my value system and her value system just not match up. We had a conversation about it, and because it just came out, it was like, I don't remember what it was specifically, but it was just like came out that we're in an open relationship. And I basically like, oh, that's not a problem for us because we're in an open relationship. And she was just like mortified at first. Then she eventually was like, okay, well, I can see I'm not going to change your mind. And like, you're not trying to change my mind, so we're good here. And that was like,
because the choices that I'm making, I mean, in this realm anyways, don't affect you.
Yeah, I'm an adult. So, you're an adult. Like, if you think I'm going to hell for it, then like, that's not your problem.
See ya there for being McJudgy.
Yeah, only God can judge us if you believe in that. No, seriously, that's like a cliche tattoo. But if you're spiritual at all, like, it's not your place to judge other people.
Yeah.
And if you're not spiritual at all, then really don't judge other people. Jeez. On their moral compass. Unless they're like murdering people and stuff. There is a line that I think we all can agree on as humans that like, not cool.
Yeah.
Can we all agree on? That's a subject for a different episode.
I don't know that I want to be a part of that episode.
I'm going to find someone to talk to me about it. Well, we're coming up to just about time now. Is there anything else you want to leave the audience with, Rachel, in our first episode of our podcast ever?
I hope your day is sparkly.
Oh.
And full of joy and happiness and sunshine. And if it's not sunshiny, here's a little trick that I do. I put my yellow glasses on.
Wow. I just listen to like real upbeat music. My friend has a band, Desert Island Friend, and they're like real beachy.
Oh.
I love that whenever it's like snowy and dark outside.
I mean, depends on what my mood is. But if I'm just in like an overall down mood, I listen to some Grateful Dead. If I just need to dance it out.
Yeah.
Listen to some Ripe.
So, obviously, you can follow us on Open Roads, Open Hearts at Instagram, or ORAOH.com. It's Open Roads and Open Hearts, just the first letter of those. Because obviously, Open Roads, Open Hearts is taken, of course. But also, we're on Facebook, Instagram, and we have a website, and this podcast, and YouTube. We're on YouTube, too. And then, Rachel, you have your own stuff. Where can people find you if they want to find like your blogs about polyamory and stuff? That is on rachelmaelynn.weebly.com. That's RACHAELMAELYNN. That's also your Instagram is Rachael
which
Maelynn.
Is also my Instagram.
And then all of my stuff.
Rachel Maelynn.
All of my stuff is just Craig Inzana, which I'm not going to tell you how to spell Inzana. You can figure it out.
INZANA.
Nope.
INZ.
No, you were right. Yeah, and I'm on everything, And that's Craig with a C and not a G. Or a K. I met a Craig with a K. That's weird. I don't think it was his real name, though. It was on Facebook or on YouTube, I think. I think he was... No, like, he's a pretty big YouTuber, though. Like, I feel like that's really his name. Craig Adams or something. is a minimalist. It's pretty cool. But yeah, he's a Craig with a K.
And now we've promoted him as well.
He's a cool YouTuber. Yeah, go check Craig Adams out. I don't even know if that's his name. All right. Well, thank you for watching. Let us know what you'd like to hear us talk about. If there's any specific van life people or polyamorous people on social media that you think we should talk to, I'd love to talk to them and find out what they're all about. It's all about exploration and freedom.
And love.
And love.
Bye.
Bye.